We started 20 years ago, so we've been in the game for a while. Our business is different to fertilizer business in general in that we supply a service. We always say we don't sell fertilizer, we sell a service to the farmer. We joined up with Profert 2 years ago. That was an initiative from my side. I was looking for a big brother, somebody that I could buy my raw materials from that would give me preferential pricing. And after long discussions with the Profert guys, we initially thought of a JV, and then my partner at the time, Rob Raw, was prepared to sell his shares, and Profert bought the shares. It's been a very good relationship since then, because there's certain things that they've been able to bring to the party which we didn't have before. One being that we can get the raw materials at a decent price. Number two, we also get the agronomy backup which Profert as a large corporate has, and we make use of that. And the other thing is the finance. They're very good at the finance side, where it's allowed us to grow a lot more than what we actually would have grown if we hadn't joined up with them. One of the problems that we found with the farmers is that they were using certain blends. In some cases they were adding more fertilizer than they actually needed on the field, and in some cases less fertilizer than they actually needed, therefore forming a prescription blend need. The problem with prescription blending is that each field needs a different blend. So therefore it's a different application rate, a different fertilizer, all the different things that go with it. So with that, we needed to put in a service where we actually applied the product for them. That made us think of doing liquid fertilizer because it's easier to blend and it's easier to transport.
We do have a granular blender. We've always done both liquid and granular here out of Mr. Fertilizer. We have a blending plant that blends 2-ton batches, which allows us also to be able to do prescription blending from our granular blender. And we can do anything up to 50 tons per day out of our plant.
Okay, the service that we supply the farmers is basically we go out and we take a soil sample initially. That soil sample is then sent off to the local laboratory, which is run by a local firm which is sponsored by the farmers. They then give us a recommendation. We then sit down with the farmer and we go through all the recommendations, and we basically link it to each field. Once that has been done, we then give the farmer a whole program for his whole season with every single field on the farm and the product that we're going to apply, and then from that the cost per field and then the cost per hectare, giving him a gross cost for the season. So he can budget at the beginning of the season what it's going to be at the end of the season. That includes the application and the transport of the fertilizer out and everything that goes with it. So when it comes to fertilizer, the farmer does very little other than going through the initial recommendation, looking at it with us, and then going through it from that side.
I think for Mr. Fertilizer, the future is definitely very bright. We have, with our joint venture with Profert, it's allowed us to expand on what we have here in Gingendlovo. We have already started a new plant in Tongaat. There are talks of us expanding into other areas in Zululand. And I think it is exciting because we can move anywhere in the coastal belt and inland. And the services that we offer are unique, and people are interested in that service-orientated business today. So I do think that the future is very, very bright for Mr. Fertilizer.